Yo, what's up, Diamond family? It's your man Vivi, and welcome back to VVS Sound. As you guys know, I'm here every week dropping off gems, teaching you to record and mix your music better. So if that sounds good to you, hey, stick around, man. Look, I got a really cool video for you today. I'm going to show you guys how I mix Q the Fool's vocals on the song Work Some with Young Savage. So, no waiting, no further ado. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to play you guys what the finished vocals sound like, and then I'll kind of go back and dig in and show you what I did. So here, I'll just start somewhere in the middle.
Rappers, they don't really want you. Ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Badass nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first nigga never won't sight me. My op sweeter than iced tea. I was told not to curry no.
All right, perfect. So as you guys hear, it sounds good, it sounds clean, it sounds punchy, it's cutting through with no issues. It's a dope sounding verse, right? So the first thing about it is that it was recorded so well. It's very well tracked, it's very well recorded, and that's really the first thing you want to make sure that you do. So if you don't have a template, we have a free tracking recording template down below. You can go pick it up. It's going to get you recording clean vocals that sound good, that are balanced quickly and consistently. You'll be able to do it over and over again just using this free template. So go and grab that down below. Let's dive in, man. So the vocals were already recorded clean, which means I didn't have to do a whole lot to make them sound good. As you can see, there's going to be very few plugins used, very little EQ. I just made very subtle moves to get the track overall to fit together, and that's really what your goal is. I want you to shift your thinking when it comes to mixing. Don't think about the individual elements of the song so much. Think about how the overall song sounds, how the overall song feels, and then make your decisions or your moves based on that. All right, so the first effect that I'm using, as you can see, I use the VMR. I use the channel emulation for the Brit 4K, and then I use the vintage 1176 compressor within Slate Digital. As you can see, this is kind of a great starting point when you're using an 1176 compressor. Set your attack to the slowest attack, set your release to the fastest release, and then you can mess with the input and output based on how loud your signal is, basically how much energy you're sending through with whatever source you're trying to compress, right? So as you'll see on playback, let's see how much compression we're getting.
Little nigga jokes, I'm laughing. Smoking them out, chopper literally.
So let's go back to the same part of the song.
Don't really want you. Ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Badass nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first nigga never won't sight me. My op sweeter than iced tea. I was told.
All right, perfect. So as you can see, it's not, the needle isn't doing a lot of movement, and you can see it. Both of these are basically two parts of the same verse. So he was punching in and out, but I'm doing whatever I do on the top channel, I'm doing to the second channel. They both come together to make one verse. So as you can see, my compression isn't doing a lot. At some points it's hitting 5, maybe 7 dB, but it's really on like one word, and then you can just see the needle falling back, and it'll smack down one word, and then you see the needle falling back. And that's really my goal with this first compressor. I want it to be as if I had tracked with compression, so I'm just getting a little bit smoother, a little bit rounder of a sound right from the jump. And that's what I was trying to achieve when I use this first compressor. So again, you'll see I'm not taking off a whole lot.
Really want you. Ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Badass nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on.
Yeah, so a lot of times you see the needle isn't even really moving, which is fine. It means that a lot of the signal is where you want it to be, and all we're doing is affecting the loudest parts of the signal so that everything just gets a little bit more consistent. It gets a little bit smoother. So that's our first compressor. These two channels are actually feeding this lead bus here, which on this bus, I just have a very, very simple, I have a mix bus from the VMR again. I'm using this Brit 73 preamp to add some saturation, just to add some grit and some color to the vocal. And then I'm using another compressor. Really, what I like about this compressor is this tone knob down here, because it kind of works as an EQ in a sense, meaning that if I switch it to airy, I can get a little bit of low end kind of attenuated that I might not be able to pull out specifically with an EQ. Or if I switch it to aggressive, I'm getting a little bit more mid-range where I don't have to boost those frequencies, but the tone of this compressor is kind of doing that for me. So I like to use this compressor a lot because it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You get a little bit of EQ effect in it as well as compression. So, and this is a custom opto compressor. It's basically emulating the Tube Tech CL1B. So let's see what that's doing.
Really want you. Ain't never seen Blood make a movie.
as you can see, like it's moving very quickly, right?
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Batman.
And it's really just doing just very small EQ moves. Like I said, my real goal for this is to get the tone. I really want to get the tone out of this, right? But it is doing a little bit of compression. It is knocking down 1 dB, maybe 2 dB, which is good. It is controlling the vocal a little bit, but it's more so for the tone aspect of it, because we held the vocal in place very well with the first compressor. So that's what this bus compressor is doing. I'm also using a de-esser here, which is cutting some high frequencies. It's a dual band de-esser, so it's actually got 2 specific frequencies I've set that is going to be cutting S's, and then we've also boosted the high end. So again, a lot of these moves are serving double purposes. Dual purposes. They're giving me compression and EQ, or they're giving me attenuation and the de-essing, and they're also giving me EQ. So it's allowing me to use less plugins but get more from each one, which is something that I really like to do. So we've added this de-esser, which is just adding some high-end crispness. It's also cutting out those S's that are sibilant. We've used this compressor here, which is really where we want the tone from. We want that warm tone. It's warming up the vocal a little bit. We've added some of this drive, this saturation, just to give it some more push, some more heft, some more weight. And then we come down here to our all vocals bus. And this bus is where, again, we're not doing a whole lot. So we are doing more compression, but really there's 4 plugins here, right? We're using the mix bus, which is just the channel emulation. We're using this custom series EQ because I love the way that this EQ rolls off the low end. I've got it set to 165, and I think it was a great spot within this vocal. As you can see, we're not touching any of the other bands. Everything else is set to 0. We're literally just rolling off low end. And then we're using the air EQ to boost, what is this, 1.6 dB of high end. It's just a shelf. It's just boosting the high end. And then we've got this compressor. This compressor is going to be compressing a lot. It's going to be taking off, I think, like -7. It's going to be taking off 10 dB, but the mix of it is only down to 70%, 72%. And again, we're dealing with the tone. We're smoothing out the tone a little bit, which just gives us a little bit of a rounder, heavier sound that we want for the vocal. And that's what this channel is doing. So let's hear that.
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Batman's nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting off.
So as you can see, the needle is staying in the 7 to 10, probably 12, 13 dB of gain reduction. It's staying in that range, but that's good because it's giving us a very consistent signal. And again, we're mixing it. So that super compressed signal isn't all we're hearing. We're getting some of the uncompressed, well, pre this compressor signal mixed in as well, which is good. It just helps it to sound a little more natural, right? So we've got this channel strip set up. And now what I'm going to do is take everything off and let you hear the vocal without the effects that we added so you can hear it dry. And then from there, we'll build on. So let's take off the all vocals bus. Let's take off this lead bus with the de-esser and the VMR where we really added some color with that compressor. And then let's go ahead and take off these 2 1176 compressors and channel emulations. You can really hear what we started with.
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Batman's nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first nigga never won't sight me.
So what's crazy is we're using our modern rap mix record template, which is also available down below. And this vocal sounds really good already. It's a little low on volume, and that's because it hasn't been compressed. So as you notice, I didn't really add any level to anything. I didn't add any volume. What I did was compress the vocal so that the parts that were already loud enough would stay loud enough, and the parts that weren't quiet enough that weren't loud enough would come up a little bit to match those parts. So if you notice, really, if we boosted the vocal, just dumping it into our template is going to do 90% of the work for us. But again, if you really want to get that super clean, perfected vocal, you should really go in and dial it in. But what I'm going to do is just turn up the vocal. I'm not going to add any of these effects. I'm just going to add maybe 4 dB, and let's see what that sounds like. And that's just using our template, our mix record template. So let's go 4.2. We'll do the same thing here, and let's see what it sounds like.
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Batman's nigga, how you be? Flies the bitch niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first nigga never won't sight me. My op sweeter than iced tea. I was told not to curry no ID. You get caught and say your name James Green. With that drink I rock out like I'm James Brown. He ain't get off the shot, it was too green.
And really, man, that in itself was crazy, right? So here, let's go back and we'll add everything back, and you can hear the difference, but that is completely usable. If you don't know a lot, here's the thing, man. If you don't know a lot about compression and EQ and using these plugins, a lot of times you can make your song worse instead of better if you don't take the time to figure out how to use these things. So it's great that we have a template that you can just drag and drop in and already sound great. So really, you can just use the volume faders to make your song sound really good. Let's play back everything that we have and hear the difference, of course. But like I said, a great starting point is just dropping everything right into the template. Let's play back.
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Bad ass nigga, how you be? Fly as a bitch, niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first, nigga never won't sight me. My op sweeter than iced tea. I was told not to curry no ID. No.
And there you go, man. Honestly, it's that simple, right? Remember, a lot of these are doing double duty. Our de-esser is also working as an EQ. Our compressor is also adding tone and character the same way an EQ would. So keep that in mind. Look for plugins that can serve double duty. They can serve dual purposes. And I think that's really going to help open up a lot of things in your mixing. And like I said, man, if you don't know a lot about compression, you don't know a lot about EQ, stay tuned because I'm teaching. But at the same time, go ahead and pick up the template, man. You can drop in your current recordings and they're already going to sound fire. That's all I got for you today, man. As always, my name is Vivi. If you need anything, drop me a line down below. Please go pick up our free template down below. It's going to completely change the way that you record, and it's completely free. Go pick that joint up. Like I said, man, if you want your vocals to sound like this with just a drag and drop, pick up our modern rap mix and record template. All right, man. Until next week, stay safe, stay humble, make diamonds only. Peace.
Really want you ain't never seen Blood make a movie like Spike Lee. Bad ass nigga, how you be? Fly as a bitch, niggas know that they tryna dress like me. Getting on first, nigga never won't sight me. My op sweeter than iced tea. I was